What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Real Res Talk. Sorry we're a bit later than advertised. Technical issues. Dan was supposed to join us, but internet connections and what have you, we all know how it is. The team news is out. I'm just going to read that through for you. Le Mans in net, obviously. Yoro, Delic, Shaw is your back three. Ahmad and Dallo are your wing backs. Dallo on the left-hand side. Casemiro, Bruno in the midfield. In Bumo, Shesko comes back into the team. And Cunha. I put Mount there for some reason, but it's Cunha. Shreyas, looking at that team, happy, all right with that team?
Mostly happy. I think every single person just has one player that they would have replaced in this team, and that's Dallo. But I think besides that, I would have also gone with the same team. I think Euro definitely needs to be brought back into the team for Maguire in this one because you're playing Brighton, and I think the moment you play Maguire, you understand that you're trying to play off the back foot. You're trying to absorb pressure. You're trying to just cement your back line, and when you're playing against teams like Brighton, where you have that sort of belief that you can go toe to toe with them, that you can match them with the intensity, you can match them for possession. I think that's those sort of games where you get someone like Euro in, where who's very good with the ball with his feet, knows how to interlink the defensive line and the midfield line. So understand why he's gone with Euro in this one instead of Maguire. Casemiro and Bruno have to play.
I think Maguire's got a knock. I think that's what it is. I think
Yeah.
that's why he's out.
So I think Cass and Bruno definitely should be starting because it's the only midfield that works, and it has started to work quite well. Both of them look more natural, and I think Casemiro is someone who's gone under the radar. I would say he's been really consistent with his performances. He's always got the odd yellow card in him. You cannot take that out of him. That sort of
Sadly
fieriness. Yeah, you just cannot take it out of him. But when you look at his overall play, I think he looks very decent since the start of the season, and he's been solid. So I think the midfield picks itself. Hopefully, Bruno has another good game like he did against Liverpool. Attack, I think Mount also picked up a knock, or they fear a knock. He's still on the bench, but I think they've been cautious with him. So I think Mbumo again got a goal against Liverpool just last week and looks quite bright. So Mbumo definitely starts. I think Cunha is one of my most favorite players that we signed this window. Just the way he played last week against Liverpool. You'd have to foul him or you just cannot take the ball off him, and that sort of fearlessness to play that way at an away stadium, especially a very hostile stadium. You need a lot of confidence in you to have that sort of a performance. And pressing wise and off the ball as well, I think he's someone who can those players who know how to create something out of nothing. I think Cunha is definitely one of those players. So I think Cunha and Mbumo definitely start. Sesko as well was in quite good form, got a couple of back-to-back goals. So I understand why he's gone with this sort of setup. The only, I think, area where I probably would have made a change would have been Dallo.
Yeah.
I think instead of Dallo, I probably would have gone with Dorgu or even Mazraoui in that way, because I think both of them are much better, at least when it comes to their positional awareness, and on top of that, at least retaining the ball in the right areas, because the amount of times the ball gets given away, the amount of times he's in the wrong area, or he's just not able to make the right pass into the final third. There are, within the, just the last two games, I can pick numerous, at least 20 to 25 moments that has happened with Dallo. So I think besides Dallo, I'm, very happy with the team. Le Mans in net as well. So, confident you feel that you've got, a keeper who can actually, catch a ball.
Yeah, one unusual name that we've not seen in a while. Terrell Malacia is back in the squad. He is on the bench. I'll read out the substitutes as well. Bayende, Dorgu, Heaven, Malacia, Mazraoui, Mainu, Igati, Mount, Xerxes. He's obviously been reintegrated into the squad. Do you see any sort of impact from him off the bench, or do you think he's sort of more filling out numbers at this point? Because obviously, I think Diego Leon played last night for the under-18s. It might have been today, actually. But either way, so he wasn't an option. Harry Amas is obviously on loan, so we need a bit of sort of left-back cover. Do you think you just fill out numbers, or do you expect some sort of impact from him?
I think it's for the numbers, personally. I don't think that he'll be, even as a super sub, I don't think that he's going to be there on the field. I think when I look at some certain other players, I can definitely say, he's going to be coming in. Like, I know Ugarte will come in at some point in this game. I know that even Mason Mount could come into this game at some
Sure.
point. Dorgu can come into this game. Even for a few minutes, I would say Mazaraoui and as well as Minu. Even if it's for like 10 to 15 minutes, I see both of them getting more minutes, but not him. I think there
Yeah.
are other players who would make much more of an impact, and at least I would say in the eyes of the manager, I think these players have a lot more credibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Ruben's Amorim's record against the Premier League Big Six is a 27.7% win. Promoted teams 83.3%, and everyone else, which is probably where Brighton fits, is his lowest 16.7% win rate. So it's not great. It's not great. And obviously the record against Brighton, as we were talking off camera, is not fantastic. Last 5 games we've been beaten. Some of them quite tremendously. 3-0
Yeah.
at Old Trafford, I remember. Do you think we're in a better position to sort of combat this Brighton threat this year, or do you still expect the sort of Brighton that we've seen over the last couple of years, where they're going to take it to us and probably score?
I think it will be a very tough opposition, but this is a game that I think has come at the perfect time for United, because this is where you will be put to the test.
Yeah.
After that performance against Liverpool, if you can emulate that today and go on with another positive result, that's when even the fans can start to have some sort of confidence and belief in this team. Because if,
Yeah.
however, hard that you've worked against Liverpool, if United are not able to get a good performance against Brighton today, it just goes completely down the drain.
Yeah.
So, and Brighton are definitely one of those teams that seem to trouble us a lot in the past few seasons. And if you can get a result against them, it speaks a lot. You know,
Mhm.
there are a lot of positive numbers in United, but like you mentioned, there are a lot of negative numbers going with United as well. So we are right now somewhere in the middle. And promoted teams or top six or even teams in the middle, there is a lot of context in between to those teams.
Yeah.
You just never know which team is going to turn up against us or not against us, where we are going to be turning up or not turning up. So there's a lot of context to it, but this game is very, very important for United, because again, if we are not able to, again, if this becomes a game like the one that we had against Brentford after that Chelsea win,
Yeah.
it just all that positivity that has just come in, it just goes completely down the drain. And again, for that United strand as well, this game carries a
Yeah.
lot
He
of
needs his haircut. He needs his
it becomes a
haircut.
whole reset if you don't get a
Yeah.
win today.
Yeah, he's got to reset again. Man United's Brian Mbeumo has been involved in more Premier League goals against Brighton. The only other team is Southampton with 8 goals. He's got 6 goals, 3 assists against Brighton, with all 6 coming in the last 4 starts against Brighton. Obviously, that's for Brentford. Obviously, Mbeumo, really important goal in the first couple of minutes against Liverpool. He's been involved in a couple of assists as well. Yeah, what do you see his impact against Brighton? Can he get at that sort of back four of Brighton? I'm going to get into the Brighton 11 in a minute. Yeah, what sort of damage do you think he can do against them? Because obviously, I think he's starting to find his form now, and I think he's starting to find the player who we think he was. Yeah, how important do you think he's going to be?
I think he's going to be very important. And again, with Ahmad on that right hand side, it's going to be very difficult to stop both of them. I think they seem to get on the same page a lot more than they did at the start of the season. I think that partnership is becoming a lot more stronger, and we saw a, a much more refined version of it against Liverpool, because they completely tore that right hand side to shreds. And I think Kirkes probably had one of his worst games in that last game against United, because Ahmad was just completely ripping him every single time with Mbeumo on that right hand side. And I think that they'll have sort of the same performance today. I hope that they do. I think to counter it, they've gone really well, Brighton, because they've gone with Kadioglu and De Kuiper, who are naturally both left backs, but they've got with both of those guys in the left position. De Kuiper might be playing up ahead, so I see why they've gone with this sort of setup. It is definitely a good experiment, because again, Kadioglu is someone who can play anywhere on the pitch, left wing, right wing, attack.
Again, another player we looked at and we were thinking about another one.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting for sure. But Mbeumo has that some of those players who just seem to click in against certain oppositions, like Martial, even though he used to be injured, but against Everton he used to score or assist every single game.
Yeah,
that's the sort of record that Mbeumo has had against Brighton. So hopefully, it happens today, because it's been quite some time that we've seen United perform well against teams like Brighton, who might not make it to the top 4, but definitely punch their weight to make it into the top 6 and top 8. And for us right now, they're going to be very, very close rivals, I would say, for this season, because they started the season quite well.
It's the bees, isn't it? Brighton, Bournemouth, and Brentford. We just cannot seem to get a result against them. It's always the way. Yeah, the Brighton team is Verbruggen, Doug Van Hecker, Jorginho Ruta, Minte, Baliba, Welbeck, Karioglu, Ayare, Vifa, and De Kuyper. So, yeah, Danny Welbeck is definitely going to be looking for a goal at Old Trafford because that's just what he's doing. I think Jorginho Ruta is obviously a very dangerous player. Like I like the way he plays. Max Vifa, I've rated him for a long time. He got very injury prone. Just before he came in, and then obviously Carlos Baliba. Carlos Baliba, is this his audition for Old Trafford? Do you think? He obviously posted something today coming to Old Trafford and then deleted it shortly after? Brighton PR people getting onto him. Yeah, is this his audition? Do you think to sort of step up and see what he's about and then United make a move for him in the summer?
I think it's an audition for sure, but I think the player himself is quite excited for the challenge as well, at Old Trafford with Man United. And it's good to see that, a player is that fascinated to come to us and actually wear our shirt and play for the club. So again, it's going to be an audition for him for sure. He started the season a bit slow, Baliba. So right now I'm not looking at it, from an audition sort of perspective, but if he can be got at today to get us 3 points, I think it is definitely something that you could even exploit, because Casemiro and Bruno have played against probably much, much better partnerships in the Prem, probably one of the best partnerships in the Prem, and they've come out as the better duo in a lot of those games. But Ayari is someone who I'm a bit worried about, because he's someone who flows under the radar. But when you look at the amount of ground he covers,
he's the next one, isn't he? He's the next guy to step
exactly.
up.
The amount of ground he covers is, something that you need to look at. But and again, he's got a good shot on him as well. Like in and out of the box, he's very good with tracking the runners, defensively and positionally as well. I think and that's sort of an all-rounder midfielder, even though he doesn't really have the build for it. But his effectiveness on the pitch is something that is quite commendable. So Ayari is someone who I would look at. I think he's, if you allow him that sort of space in and around your defensive and midfield line, he can cause you a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they've got some dangerous players, Brighton, and some of them are not even like in the team. Like some of them are on the bench. Obviously, you got Mitoma. I'm just gonna bring up their bench actually. Just figured out.
Mitoma's injured.
I was injured though. Thank God for that. Yep. Let me have a look.
They've got Tom Watson.
So
they've got Timas.
Milner, who I'm sure will like to sort of do something against us, which is always the Oriola, Pascali, Gomez, Coppers. It's a very young bench, but obviously Milner
Diego
aside.
Gomez is someone who they seem to, invest a lot in. Boscagli there as well. So they've got a, good blend.
Very young guys on the bench, obviously Milner aside. So I think unless you see a couple of really bad performances, I don't see him tweaking too much, because that 11 that he's got is pretty much his strongest 11. I think he could probably go for Mitoma aside. So I think, that's probably what you're looking at. Let's go back to United. Obviously, we just touched on Mbumo. Sesko comes back in. With Liverpool, we obviously play with Cunha up top. He moves out to the left now with Mount taking a knock. Can we utilise Sesko more in this game than we would have done, say, against Liverpool? Obviously, against Liverpool, we went over the top with the long balls. To play and then win the second balls, but with Sesko, you got more link-up play. You can play to feet, and he's obviously a tall lad. And he's got a leap on him as well. Do you think we utilise him a bit more in this game?
I think he was utilised perfectly last week as well.
To be fair, he did. Yeah.
I mean, like, he's phenomenal. Like when you see him on the pitch and what he does, and I think if you just, mask the image, like if it was a black and white game and you don't know what player he is, what player is playing or what jersey he's got, and you just see the way he plays the game, if someone plays it out, no one can even think that he's not scored or assisted for us yet, the way he's been playing. The confidence, and on top of that, just the relentlessness to just ram through the defensive line, no matter, it's 1v2, 1v3, to have that sort of belief. I think it's quite commendable, and we wanted to see it from our forwards for quite some time. Like Rashford used to do it at times, but he was not consistent with it. Garnacho as well, not that consistent with it when it came to, taking on defenders and moving the ball into the final third. With Cunha, you see it. And I think with Cunha, it is only a matter of time. Like, he gets his first goal, it's just going to keep flowing and flowing and flowing. And I think he's still so effective and so
That
important to
last 20
for the
minutes
team.
against Liverpool
Oh.
was really like integral to us winning that game for sure.
Just no one could actually take the ball off him.
Yeah.
Like when he had the ball,
as well. The shithousery
yeah.
as well.
In a couple of occasions, I thought just pass the ball, but he used to go down, wrap his feet around the ball, get back up, continue with his run. So I think he's definitely a big danger man, and Brighton would definitely be looking at him and going, you cannot allow him that sort of freedom.
Yeah. Obviously, like I just touched on, we sort of played long balls and we're looking to win the second balls. If we win today, we push up into Champions League places because Chelsea lost today, thank God. Newcastle did win with a last minute 90 winner, which is not so good for us. We beat Liverpool last week. Yeah, Liverpool play Brentford tonight, I believe. So if Brentford could do us a favour, that would be great. I don't see Arsenal losing too many games, to be honest with you, the way they're playing. But yeah, I think we'll probably play with the ball a bit more on the ground today than we did against Liverpool. But then that does offer up opportunities to Brighton on the counter, obviously because they like to press and stuff like that. With the defence that we've got, De Ligt, Yoro, Shaw, obviously we're going to get pressed a bit more and they're going to sort of be a bit quicker. The fact that we've got Shaw, Yoro back in the team, he's a bit quicker and stuff like that. Are you a bit more happy with that sort of defensive lineup rather than, say, Maguire was fit and playing him, De Ligt and Shaw, who were quite slow and quite not as mobile?
It's tough to say that, with Maguire, it's quite tough to say that, if he isn't playing, it's a better situation for us because he's, again, as a goal threat, or even if you have to say is, just the way he carries himself on the pitch nowadays, he has definitely got a big effect on this team. Like I think he's definitely one of those leaders in the dressing room, like Bruno is, like Casemiro is. I think he's definitely up there as well. But I think against this sort of opponent, you need someone like Euro there because you need to have someone who's good with the ball with his feet, who knows how to switch the play quite, like this, like the way Lisandro does. I see glimpses of that in him as well. And he's been quite consistent, Euro. I think since the start of the season, I cannot say one game where Euro hasn't been good. And the same goes I think for me,
since Southampton last year, I think he's been
not even a single game. Yeah, and De Ligt I think for me, De Ligt has been the best player for United this season up until now because so good and so consistent every single game. And again, another leader that you've got in the team, and he's so young. He's still, I think, around 23 or 24. And he's got, and it's phenomenal that he's, played at Bayern, played at Juve, played at Ajax, and he's got so much experience, played with, some of the absolute greats in football. And for him, I think a lot of people wrote him off too soon, that, he's not good enough.
Paul Scholes did. Paul Scholes, before he even saw him play for United, he was like,
and
not having him.
If you just look at him playing right now, there are not enough words for me to praise De Ligt. I think he's come back quite well this season, and he started the season quite well. And I think that it's going to be another big performance from De Ligt today. Luke Shaw, you just don't know what you're going to get out of him. Like in certain games, he's brilliant. Certain games, he's absolutely brilliant. But there are certain games where I see him hesitating a bit too much. He's a bit overcautious.
Delays, when it comes to getting rather than getting the ball, he just delays it, and then he gets caught because he hasn't got the speed anymore to do what he used to be able to do.
Just waiting for Lisandro. I think the moment Lisandro comes back, I think it's going to elevate a bit more because Lisandro brings so much to this team as a centre back, and even when it comes to progressing with the ball forward, I'm waiting for Lisandro to come in. But I think Luke Shaw is someone who's been average. Like if he's played 10 games, I can say 5 games he's played phenomenally well, and 5 games he's been caught lacking.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just going to read a couple of comments. Dan Rice, Malacia's had more chances of getting minutes as a goalie than he has as a left wing back. Harsh, but true. Raynator, one of my favourite lineups for the season. It should be more than capable of to win. Slight critique is if Dallo was from any other country on the planet, Dog would be starting. I agree. Andy Williams, just don't make Anfield pointless. Absolutely. UTR Nath, get that long ball pumped upfield. Sesko and Mbeumo on the score sheet today. I hope so. Going to be interested to see if Ruben changes his tactics because I reckon the space will be the full-backs against these. Yeah, probably. UTR Nath, for fuck's sake, Dallo again. Yeah, people are not happy with Dallo. I'm enjoying us playing like Big Sam. Good team last year on the bench. That lad's been through hell. He's very professional. Yeah, no, he's professional and he's done well. But that game I saw him in Europa League where he ended up getting hauled off at
Uh,
half time. Like he's gone. His legs are
Vitoria
fucked.
Pleasen we played, I
Yeah,
think.
I was just like, this dude's done. Like his knees are not the same. So I like him. He's not been an arsehole about it, but yeah, he's just not. He's not the caliber that we need at this
Yeah.
point. Before we'll get into score predictions shortly, but we sort of look at this now. Like we've talked on the big opportunity. Obviously, Liverpool win, really good win, beat Chelsea, and we've been here before. We've had it not necessarily under Amrim because we haven't had back-to-back wins up until recently.
Yeah,
But under
never
Ten Hag, we've had moments where it's like, oh, a couple of games, all right, this is the turning point, and then we've fucked it and lost. And
Yeah.
it's got back down. How important for you is this today? Like, I know it's just, I don't want to say just Brighton because they're a very good team. They're a definite threat. But the fact that this could push up, one, into Champions League spaces, two, build on the confidence that we've got from Liverpool, and three, like, could lead us to sort of getting 4 wins in a row, 5 wins in a row, and actually doing something this season. Like, how important is this game?
I think it is a very important game again because you need to have that sort of momentum. You need to get on, those back-to-back win cycle, and this table is moving, quite quickly. If you see any team that gets 3 wins in a row, they bounce from 10th to second like that. Sunderland are second in the league and they lost to us.
Mad.
So
Mad.
You just need to have that sort of consistency. And I know that in a 38 game season, you're not going to win every single game. There are going to be games where you let off, but right now this team is in such a delicate position that the moment you win, the conversation is different. But the moment you lose, the conversation is so negative that, if you win, it is like, okay, it happened. United did this, did that, but somehow they were able to manage to get a victory. But the moment you lose, the manager is getting sacked. That's the conversation that gets pulled apart. So I think we definitely need a win today. And if you do get a win today, I think it's going to at least help the fans as well that this is something that we can get behind, because Brighton have been a troublesome opposition for us for quite a few seasons. Like you mentioned, Brentford, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, these 4 teams, they seem to trouble us so much every single season. And if we can flip the script a bit this year, at least against Brighton, we'll have that sort of belief that, maybe this team can actually get somewhere at the end of the season.
Yeah, well, we flipped the script against Liverpool. Obviously, we didn't win at Anfield since 2020, 2015, sorry. So, yeah, even longer than I remember. So, we did that thing. So, hopefully, we can do the same again. I'm just sort of looking at the table now. Like you said, it's wide, apart from sort of City, Liverpool, and Arsenal, who I think in a sort of class of their own. It's wide open. Obviously, Chelsea lost.
Yeah.
Newcastle won, but they were sort of pushed to it, and it was touch and go for a while. United, we've been off form. Spurs have been up and down, not had the sort of greatest at times. So yeah, it's wide open. Like, it's completely wide open. So if United could string a couple of wins together, maybe we could push like above where we're supposed to be. So I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Yeah, get your last comments in the chat and get any questions in just before we go. We're going to get into score predictions shortly. Gary Neville's been inducted to the Premier League Hall of Fame, 2025 inductee. So yeah, congratulations to Gary Neville. I mean, he should have been in first ballot to be honest, but
a lot of our players should have been in the first ballot.
Yeah,
and this did not.
Well, otherwise, if you did the Premier League like Hall of Fame in reality, it'd just be United players for about 10 years. Because do you know what I mean? Like, we have just won most of the Premier Leagues, like, so it'd just be United players 10 years. So I get it to an extent, but yeah, congratulations to Gary Neville. Ruben Amorim on Terrell Malacia returning. He said, of course, it doesn't matter to me. I love all my players that demand the same thing. He worked really well. He adapted to our team. So like I said, there are no favourites. If you work, you will play. If you don't work, you need to work hard to get back in the team. So yeah, it's nice to see. Mbumo was there warming up with Yoro. So yeah, really excited to see that. Shreyas, it's all time for the all-important score predictions. I said mine on the preview. I said 2-1 to United. I'm trying to be a bit positive. Where you going? What are you thinking?
I'll go 2-0 to United. Lemon's another clean sheet. Yeah.
Interesting. Who's your goal scorers?
I think Cunha gets his first finally. And
I hope so.
I think Bruno gets a goal today.
I'll take that. Let us know in the chat what your score predictions are, who your goal scorers are. I would love to hear from all of you, even if you're watching it just after we sort of stop and just before the game. We are going to be live for the review. I believe it's going to be me and Shreyas, possibly Adam. We'll see what's going on there. But yeah, we will be live after the game. Please follow all the social medias for any updates. The final scores will be posted on there if you can't watch the game. And we'll be up to date on Twitter as well with any sort of random commentary and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. I'm sorry it's not Nick hosting. I know I'm not the sort of best host, but he's on a golf weekend, so he's enjoying himself. So yeah, hopefully we can get a win today. And yeah, we'll see you after the game. Cheers, Shreyas, for coming on.